So in the early 1950s, there was this little church in Lebanon, Ohio, that had a burden for their cities around them. Their senior pastor and their missions pastor would pray about where God would have them to send missionaries to and start new churches. In some way, somehow, this little town 25 minutes outside of them caught their eye. And so they sent that missions pastor into Monroe, Ohio to seek out others that might have the same heart, that were praying that God would start something in their city, that were asking God to bring the gospel and the kingdom of God to Monroe. And what that pastor found was absolutely incredible. He came back to Urban Crest and shared his findings, and soon Urban Crest sought out a man to lead the work. And when they found him, they sent him into Monroe, Ohio. They prayed with him, they resourced him, and they sent him out. And in 1956, that man and his wife gathered in a small home just down the street from downtown with 8 other people. In that little gathering, God started writing a story. That day, God birthed First Baptist Church Monroe. So that little church grew. In 1959, they built the first building and grew to over 300 people on a weekend. They had a dream that God was writing an incredible story through them for their city. They would see hundreds of people turn their lives to Jesus and see hundreds of people baptized through their love. In late 2000s, they were led to build the building we're sitting in now to reach their city even more. And for the past 60 years, that church has loved the city of Monroe. Yes, changes happened. Some pastors came and left. Some people moved on. But there has been a remnant, a faithful few that has held on to the story that God is writing. They had the faith that God was not done with them yet, that even though there weren't many, they knew God was still writing his story. So that brings us to this moment. You see, today, we're not just telling a new story, but we're really celebrating a story that God's been writing for quite a while. A story of redemption and hope. You see, God sent a missions pastor from Urban Crest Baptist Church to this city. That missions pastor prayed over the city for a church planter to come. And what he didn't realize was God was inviting him and his family to plant God's church. And so in 2019, that family said yes to God, and God birthed the work of Life Church Monroe. Over the past 2 years, hundreds of lives have been changed. A city is being transformed. Hope, life, faith, renewal are being experienced by many. And today, the hope and faith that started years ago is being written. Today, we celebrate a new church. Today, we get to see God's story written in a new way. So today, we get to experience God his story being written through all of us. So thank you. Thank you, First Baptist Church Monroe. Thank you, Watermark. Thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you that you held on to God's story. And happy birthday, Life Church Monroe.